What's up, guys? It's Mark from NotjustFit, and today I prepared for you a very interesting and useful topic, and it's about bringing up your weak muscle parts. I think almost everybody has a weak muscle part.
Not me, no. Psst.
Yeah, okay, there are some people who doesn't struggle with this and are genetically gifted or whatever, but majority of people are struggling with at least one muscle part. So why does it even happen? Lagging muscle parts are usually caused by genetic limitations, poor exercise technique, or poor training or programming choices. So what can we actually do to bring up these lagging muscle parts?
Nothing. There is nothing you can do.
Nah, I'm just joking. Let's look at few unique tips which can actually help you to bring up these muscle parts and which actually help me to bring up my lagging muscle parts. Okay, tip number 1, get stronger. Getting stronger on your lifts is the primary way to build muscle for natural lifters. Because lifting heavy is stimulating myofibril hypertrophy, which is responsible for muscle gain, muscle density, and muscle explosiveness. Actually, when you think about it, it's very logical. Have you ever seen big natural guy who is weak? I haven't. Tip number 2, increase training frequency, aka train the weak muscle part more often, and it's for a simple reason: elevated protein synthesis, which is responsible for muscle growth. After every training session, your protein synthesis is elevated up to 2 days. So if you train muscle, let's say 2-3 times per week, your protein synthesis is basically elevated all the time, which can result in better muscle gain. But don't train the muscle 6 times per week. There is always this optimal training range. So, for example, if you are training 1 time per week, increase it to 2 times. If you are training 2 times per week, increase it to 3 times. But you might not be able to increase it to 3 times and handle the volume. So you might consider, just doing the half of the volume of your normal training. Remember, always listen to your body. And I wanted to add one tip, which is if you are training your muscle 3 times per week and you are not seeing a progress, there's gonna be either a problem somewhere else or you are overtraining. Tip number 3, increase training volume. But do not increase training volume and training frequency at the same time. Pick one, try it, and you'll see. So how are you gonna increase training volume? It's very easy. Just add 2 to 3 sets to your lagging muscle part each session, and that's it. You should not combine training frequency and training volume at the same time, because you will just destroy your body's capabilities to recover properly from training, which results in what? Zero gains. Tip number 4, hit your lagging muscle part in all rep ranges. So 6 to 8, 10 to 12, 12 to 15. And why is that? In low rep ranges you are stimulating myofibril hypertrophy, which is more muscle gain, muscle explosiveness, and muscle density. And doing high rep ranges you are stimulating more sarcoplasmatic hypertrophy, which is more muscle volume and muscle endurance. When you're doing both rep ranges, you're getting the best from both worlds, and that's what we want, and it will result in better muscle gains. Tip number 5, focus on proper technique. I see it many times in the gym. The guys on the first side, they look like they're doing everything correctly. They're training heavy, they're training hard, but they're neglecting the most important exercising thing, which is technique. Without proper technique, you have little to no muscle contraction, and what do you want without muscle contraction, huh? Zero gains, man. So focus on proper technique. It's very important. Okay, so tip number 6 is rotate exercises. Your body is made to survive and to adjust itself. So you always need to train and to make changes to your training routine. How are you gonna do it? What's the best way? In my opinion, is to rotate always exercises. That way you give your central nervous system always a new type of stimuli, so it can never get used to one type of exercise. Let's put this in example. For example, I had a problem with my lagging chest, so I was always changing the exercises every week. I picked 2 exercises which I was doing for 1 week, and then I replaced them the next week, and then I did the same thing the next week after, and I did the 6 to 8 week cycle like this, and then I did it all over again. There are many exercises to pick from. For example, you have normal bench press, upper bench press, barbell bench press, dumbbell bench press, dips, you have cable crossover, you have pullover, you have all these variations with the resistance bands, and list goes on and on. Just be creative. And it's the same like this for every muscle part. So this is, in my opinion, very important thing. So you are giving your body and your central nervous system always new stimuli, so you can never get used to one type of exercise. Tip number 7, train less. Now you are like, wow, this guy was telling me just like a few minutes ago to increase my training frequency and increase my training volume. This guy is fucked up. But let me explain myself here. You know, for example, that might be also a problem, because that was my problem when I started lifting. I used to want it so badly that I just trained too much and too often. That resulted in overtraining and no gains in general. So that might be also a problem. So consider it before you just start doing even more. Tip number 8, and I put this one at the end because I think it's really too advanced for newbies. It's called rest post training. And what is rest post training? It is basically just breaking down one set into numerous mini sets with 10 to 15 second rests in between these sets. It really helps with overloading the muscle fibers and breaking through strength and growth plateaus. So how does this, rest post training work? So you are gonna set a weight to 80 to 85% of your 1 rep max. You're gonna perform as many reps as you can until you reach failure, with 10 to 15 second rest between each mini set. Be sure to continue after the mini set sequence until you reach failure. At the end, rest for 90 seconds between actual sets and try to perform 3 working sets. That is basically how you do rest post training. It is really helpful and advanced way to stimulate new muscle growth. Guys, that was basically it. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope you can take something out of this. If you want to support me and you want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe to my channel. If you like this video, give me a like. If you want to discuss this topic or you want to ask something, just comment down below. You can also contact me on my personal email, which is included in the description, with my Twitter account and Instagram too. On Instagram, you can basically follow my daily life. On Twitter, I'm posting the ideas throughout the day, and that is basically it. Now it's just time for peace, and stay tuned for more content.